Hello, this is Ian, Somerset News Network. We had a by-election in Wales, in Caerphilly. Now, Caerphilly is in South Wales, and it's an industrial area. And if Caerphilly was a bit of Blackpool rock, and they sliced it, you would have Labour running through it. It's been Labour for years, since before the Second World War. Now, we've got the tyranny of Mr. Starmer. And people can see it. Labour supporters do not like Labour. So they look for an alternative. Now, commentators said, it's tactical voting. Now, we've rejected the Conservatives. And now the people are rejecting Labour. And the results from Caerphilly show it. I'll put the results up here. That's a bit small. What we'll do is we'll look at the top side to start with. Plaid Cymru, Welsh Nationalists, Reform, Labour and Conservative. Plaid Cymru won the by-election with 15,961 votes. I got them written down. I can't remember them in my head. Reform came second, pushing Labour into third. They had 12,113 votes. Labour vote collapsed by 34% from the last general election because it was a Labour-held seat. Labour lost this election. They only had 3,713. The Conservatives had 690 votes and they lost their deposit. The Conservatives lost their deposit. Now, the commentators and the mainstream media are saying Reform lost Caerphilly to the Welsh Nationalists, Plaid Cymru. How can you lose something that you never had? Reform was never a MP in Caerphilly that was Reform. It was a Labour stronghold. So for Reform to come second, absolutely brilliant. And to push Labour down to third in Caerphilly. Now, you would have expected years ago, if Labour were going to lose, they were going to come second to Plaid Cymru. You know, it's a Welsh area. I wouldn't say it's Welsh nationalist, really. Not South Wales where they are. You know, if you really want to talk national Welsh, you go to West Wales, where I go shooting. Their English is their second language. The farmers talk to each other in Welsh. And if you go into a pub, we used to go into a pub called in Penguin. And it was on a crossroads, right in the middle of West Wales in the countryside. And all the farmers would get in there. When I first went in there, they were talking English. With a Welsh accent, but they were talking English. I said good evening, and they all started talking Welsh. But this is what they're like. They're wonderful people. Anyway, I was looking for my mate and trying to find out where my mate lived. And he lived 2 miles up the road by the post box and down the track into the forest. When I came back with Bob, who's my mate, I was introduced to farmers, and in the end, the next time I went to Wales, I walked into the pub, and it's Ian's down, and the farmers would come and say, Ian, can you come and shoot my pigeons or go shoot my crows? I'm infestated with crows. And they'd buy me a pint. Oh, it was wonderful. They are the nicest people you could ever wish to meet. And they help each other out. Like we used to in our village, which we've lost. And when you drive round Wales, you think you're in the middle of nowhere, and there's a crossroads. There's a magnificent First World War memorial. And the list. Now, our war memorials got about a dozen people on it. Their lists are hundreds of people that died in the First World War. And they remember. They remember their grandparents and granduncles that went to war and never came home. So the Welsh are a very proud people. And they don't like tyranny. So the Labour government have lost this election because of Starmer and the Labour policies. You know, I would have liked Reform to have won. But if you look down lower, everybody up under the Conservatives got less than 500 votes. The Green Party, the Liberal Democrats. And UKIP's down the bottom, and they got 79. I expect that was the English expats were around Caerphilly. Well, no, should say that. Now, they reckon if this was transformed to a national election, that the Reform Party would end up with 440 seats. I think that's a little far-fetched. My prediction for the election at the moment is that Reform will be close or just over enough to form a government. The Conservatives will gain more seats. The Liberal Democrats will pick up a couple more seats. There may be a few more independent MPs. But Labour are going to lose. The signs are that nobody is going to vote Labour. And this Caerphilly by-election shows that people do not like Labour. So there's going to be a lot of top Labour MPs that you see on the front bench that are going to lose their seats. So Labour are going to try and pull back from that and try and give you policies and they steal from Reform. Doesn't say they're going to do them, but they say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to stop the boats, we're going to smash the gas. Oh, yeah, well, they've already said that. But they will repeat it. And do we believe them? No, we don't. So Labour are in real trouble. They say that there's 50 or so backbenchers that are thinking of resigning. Now, they may go over to the new party being set up by Corbyn and Sultana. They may even go over to Reform. The more moderate Labour MPs that aren't communists, I think Nigel Farage will have a couple of them just to have a go at Labour. But anyway, Caerphilly has been won by Clyde Cymru, which is Welsh nationalists. It is a protest vote. Doesn't mean this will happen in a general election. But Reform could be in a position to win Caerphilly at a general election. It's going to be monumental if they do. But we don't know. It's up to the people. That's what the elections are for. Anyway, Ian, I've said enough on Caerphilly. And I love the Welsh. You know, they are some of the nicest people you could ever meet. And when they speak Welsh, they don't mean to be rude. It's because it's their first language, especially in West Wales and North Wales. Anyway, this is Ian, Somerset News Network, saying bye for now.